Howdy folks, and welcome. It's the weekly comic book snap special. Yes, it is.
We need to kiss it.
I know.
Every time.
It's the 22nd of November, 2017.
It is
and it's
indeed.
issue 20 of the snap. Can you believe it?
I can.
Good. It's a big episode, yes. We're here, as always, in front of the glorious wall of comics here, FrogBross Comics and Books. And we have a rather special episode today, do we not?
We do indeed. He's wearing the badge.
Wearing the badge.
We have another one here.
Yep, wearing it with pride. You're not wearing yours.
Little piece of artwork.
Little piece of artwork.
And
it is the big release.
The big release, probably of 2017, I would say this is the most anticipated book of this year.
Really?
Yep. I don't know whether it's just because that was anticipated by me and.
Well, who knows?
No, there's a groundswell of anticipation.
It's palpable. It's in the air, people.
It is indeed.
We can smell it. We can feel it.
It is. For
What is it? Come on.
This bad boy.
Ooh.
The Doomsday Clock.
It's finally here.
It is. We are treading where certain people feel that comic books should never tread.
Hallowed ground, isn't it?
Hallowed ground, indeed. I read the Watchmen referred to as the Citizen Kane of the comic book world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've
Interesting.
never read that. But I've never watched that.
You've never seen Citizen Kane?
Never watched it. No.
You're missing out, son.
Really?
It's the Watchmen of films.
Very
as
good.
they say in film circles. We've never actually spoken about the Watchmen as a book, have we?
I don't think so. No.
What are your thoughts? Just digressing slightly on the Watchmen. Are you a fan, or
I think
is it overblown? Are you?
No. It's a seminal book.
Yes, I think so.
It is, absolutely. I do think, and this is from having people coming in and talking to me now about it, so first-time readers, I'm not sure that it is dating and aging as well as some people make out.
Okay.
I've got a lot of younger readers who can find it a struggle. I mean, it's a very wordy book, and it's not the easiest of reads. I don't think it ever has been the easiest of reads. It may have been easier to digest when it came out as single issues because you just have a...
Yeah.
And even then I think each one would have been a little bit of a hard read. It's a world. It's set in a world that is very much in your face. It's very claustrophobic. The 9-panel grid that is there, and there's lots of. There is a massively rigid structure, and within that there's a lot of extreme close-ups, which really take you into this world, and it's a world that is decaying, and it's a world that's just a little bit off, and nothing's quite right. It's very bleak. I'm not painting it to be a nice thing, am I? And I don't see it as a nice book in any way.
Sure.
And it's
what do you think about it at the time? What set it apart from what was being done at the time?
okay. So you have that, and you have the sorry, it's just out of shot there. You have the Dark Knight Returns. That were very adult-led comic book and comic hero books, but with some really dark overtones to them. So they basically said that mainstream American superhero comics are not just for kids. Yeah, this is something that you can really get your teeth into. Well, and the Watchmen turned up on like the New York Times.
100
top,
greatest,
exactly. Reading list for the year and stuff, which had never happened.
Well, it's the adult themes that go into the books, isn't it? Particularly those two. Well, specifically the Watchmen, I think. There are adult themes in there that maybe hadn't been explored quite so much.
I think both of them. And the thing with the Watchmen is, I don't think it's gonna be a spoiler for anybody. That it's the simple idea that who watches these heroes that everybody's looking up to and we put on a pedestal, but who polices these guys? Who can police these guys? Yeah. And the answer that it comes up with is basically is no one. These are gods that are walking amongst us. There's still things that are looked at years later today, you know, with the whole Superman thing in the movies, and it's kind of apt timing that this comes out with the Justice League. Yeah. movie coming out, which obviously the Batman vs Superman explored that a bit more. But yes, it's very much a bleak book,
Right.
The Watchmen.
So that's the original.
That's the original.
We've had the button, haven't we?
We have had the button, we had the Before Watchmen series, which was DC's. There's a lot.
Keeping.
Yeah, well, the licensing part, basically, from what I can tell, is that the license will revert back to Alan Moore and Gibbons when the book is out of print. It's just never been out of print, and that's unheard of, or was unheard of when they signed the contract. So there's a big hoo-ha about the creators of the original.
Yeah.
They're big names in comics, and they've distanced themselves from it. There's loads of stuff that I don't want to get into because I don't know that much about. I know what I've read, and I can piece together bits, but I don't want to sound like I know about these things because I've never been in a room. I've never seen the contracts and stuff. So
who knows?
Do we just take what you read?
Let's not get into the minutiae of it.
No, but DC have been revisiting this, and a lot of people put The Watchmen on this pedestal as it is, a great and seminal book. It
kind of deserves to be up there.
I think it does deserve to be up there, but I'm not sure that it deserves never to be played with again.
Right.
And just left.
So it can be revisited, messed around
I believe so, but then they did the Before the Watchmen series where they took each individual character basically and the team that preceded the Watchmen and made a series of books out of them that worked to differing degrees for me.
I like the Rorschach one. I thought that was good.
I thought that was the worst one personally.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I really like the Silk Spectre one.
Okay.
And I like parts of the Comedian, but I had maybe it was because I was so excited about the Rorschach one.
Yeah.
That when it landed and it didn't quite. Sorry, Rorschach. It didn't quite hit the spot.
Okay.
For me.
Interesting. So we had the button recently, didn't we?
We did indeed. Where the button, but with a smiley face. So the yellow button was found in the Batcave.
Yes.
And the Flash and Batman went through a time and universe odyssey to try and find it, but it didn't really go too much into it.
Didn't
it's
go
just
too deep, did it?
No, and it was started way back by Mr. Johns, who writes this one, Jeff Johns, in the DC Universe Rebirth special.
Sure.
Which was very nice, and so this is old Jeff coming back in.
Big Jeff.
For the first thing he's written since that in 2016.
But he's been involved with the films, has he not?
I believe he has been, yes. I think that was the reason they gave him. Or maybe he was just working on this because it's awesome.
A one-word summary.
One-word summary after all that precursor.
It's awesome.
Awesome, go and buy it.
No, but it is awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome, and you can tell that there's been a hell of a lot of thought gone into it.
Yeah.
It's been plugged in the solicitations as and it's all about Dr. Manhattan meeting Superman and the two worlds colliding. But he also said at one of the Comic-Cons that it was about the uplifting DC universe and that idea of hope that plays against the Watchmen universe and that idea of just bleak
down in the muck.
Exactly, there's no hope
it's
here.
All going to
hell
pot.
Well, and the very first cell is the end is here, which isn't exactly uplifting.
It's not what you want to hear, is it?
But it's a really nice first issue.
It's a lovely thing, isn't it? They stick to the panel kind of idea in this, don't they? With
absolutely.
Kind of
the 9-panel grid is very much like that. The world that they're revisiting, I think, especially because it's kind of split between street level and then they do go actually literally underground.
Yeah.
And when you're at street level, you can feel the claustrophobic nature of it in the same way. And yes, it's. Look at the expressions on the page. On the
angry people.
And each of the cells has a beautiful expression.
Not spending their beans on comics, are they?
I think the
having fun.
The artwork is lovely.
Beautiful.
It's already been released that Rorschach is back.
Rorschach.
Rorschach. Yeah. It's my northern twang, man. Don't you pick on me?
I'm not. Far be it from me to
Give me
criticise
elocution.
a special.
Yeah.
So Rorschach's back.
Rorschach is back. It's explained why, and I think it's a great way of bringing him back.
Right.
There's old characters in here.
Yeah.
There's new characters.
Yeah. So it's set 7 years after, isn't it?
It is, but it's basically
a follow-on.
It feels like a Watchmen too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And not until the very last 3 pages do we see the new DC universe, a Rebirth universe coming about, and there's a definite change in the art style, the palette.
Delineation.
Exactly, and I really do like that.
Yeah.
And this is very much, you know, if you've read all the solicitations and you're thinking, I'm going to run down to a comic shop because I want to see Superman punching Dr. Manhattan in the face, just see what will happen. It's not going to happen in this book.
No.
This is very much, they are bringing us back into the world where it's set, and they're teeing up everything for where they're moving on to. And I've got more questions from reading this than I ever had in reading The Watchmen, I think. And that's done in one issue. There's definitely a mystery here.
Absolutely.
Which is...
And I think, like you said, I think there's humour in this, which is interesting. You know, it's quite funny, isn't it?
It is, even though it's a bleak world.
Yeah.
There's humour in here that makes you smile.
Yeah.
It's very clever. They're not trying to ape what they did in the Watchmen universe, but they are trying to expand on it.
Yeah.
And I think they do it perfectly.
I think that I think it's kind of it's almost like a love letter, isn't it? You know, in a way.
Yes.
It's very much sort of sticking to the ideas and the style of the original book.
Yep, very much.
And trying to carry that on in a way that's respectful, but like you say, kind of expanding on that universe.
Exactly, and giving us something new, but and playing with the toys that.
Yeah, but you can tell respectfully playing.
Massively
they're
respectfully.
Not throwing it against the wall.
No, absolutely not. They're building on it.
Building on it, yeah. Like
I would say.
A good Lego set owned by a close friend.
Or Meccano.
Yeah, Meccano.
Because they're revisiting something
mechanical.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a clock. I like it. Yeah, like a clock.
Like a clock. There.
Yeah, not like a button.
No,
no. But this is. I mean, I think I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really great start.
Yep.
To what is going to be, I think, a mega series. And it
does. It still has the
not disappointed.
The
Sometimes with
bleakness
these
inside.
big hype, you're a little bit disappointed, but I wasn't with this.
You are, and I do think they've changed some little bits to update it. In each cell, there's not the. Sometimes when you open up the Watchmen, there's almost like a. Pardon my French, a puking of colour in there. It really was like, whoa, but they have dialed that back enough. It's still very claustrophobic when you're in there, and everything's very much set in there.
Yeah. Doesn't have that quite that. Some of the Watchmen had that sort of repeating visual themes.
Oh, there's loads of that.
Well,
we're only an issue in, so it could well be that they will revisit their layout of the pages.
Yeah.
As we go along, I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all, because again, it is another big thing. Along with everybody says the 9-panel grid, but that's cropping up quite a bit in DC at the moment. It was used a lot in Mr. Miracle not too long ago, and so it's not something that's been out of the comics for years.
Yeah. And do you think that 9-panel grid or that sort of rigid page format is a reason why your guys coming in are saying that they struggle a little bit with it, because comics are so. The boundaries of the panels are, and it's
like
all over the
things
place.
Get dated, maybe. And the original Watchmen is a lot more wordy.
It's very wordy
than a lot of books that are out at the moment.
Deep book.
It is a very deep book, and if people are used to picking up something that's maybe more visual in storytelling. Then it can be a bit tricky to read. And
do you think you need to have read The Watchmen to enjoy this?
I think it works as a standalone, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
I think it works as something, but you're obviously going to enjoy it a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
before people get angry and I'm never going to enjoy this. How dare they revisit? I think personally you will enjoy it a lot more if you have read The Watchmen.
Yeah.
And I think that if you're into comics,
why haven't you read The Watchmen?
You don't have to read it, but give it a try because you know it really was such a game changer, and the whole idea behind it, and it is, I mean, it is a seminal book in so many ways. Like you were saying, the way they revisited certain things, in the way the page was laid out, the art inside the 9 panels. And it's a real rich book, really rich book, and you might not get through it. It might not be for you, but I would always urge people to give it a try.
Yeah, maybe not read the bits about the ship. Eh?
Well, no, but that's still something that's very much part of it.
I think so. You've got to read it.
You've got to read it, and read it all from top to bottom.
Absolutely, digest it all. Well, there we go. Do you think that's enough?
I think it is.
Several different covers, aren't there?
Several different covers.
I went for the Rorschach cover.
All beautiful, and
a
nice little lenticular, boom.
Happy days.
All I can say is great start. Absolutely great start. It's a 12-issue mini-series.
Yeah, monthly.
Bring on the rest.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Monthly.
It is monthly.
Okay, cool.
Hey, monthly.
Monthly. Right, good. Well, there we are, Spesh. Good roundup. Well done.
I've
Fantastic.
won.
Good stuff. It's a one-book snap, isn't it?
One book
Never
snap.
done it before.
Snappy.
Big book. Wasn't too snappy, but, you know, a one-book.
Well, let's go.
Special 20th episode snap. Yes. Well done. Okay, so take care. Bye.